Welcome on my YouTube channel. We will resolve the well-known LeetCode two-sum problem in this video. This problem is regularly appeared in technical interview at multiple companies and evaluate your programming and algorithmic skills. I will explain the problem in this video. Let's get moving. We have an array of integer and a target value, and we need to return the index of the two number which will sum to target value. You can pause the video and read the problem carefully. This problem can be solved in three ways. Way 1 is brute force method. Way 2 is two-pass hash table method, which will be using HashMap. Way 3 is one-pass hash table method, which will be using HashMap. But we will cover only first and third way in this video. Let's jump into coding. First, we will solve using our approach one, which is brute force method. So I'll just create a class to sum. See, I'm not using any IDE or any sort of extension so that it will auto populate my code. I'm just using a simple text file. Yeah, I do have an extension to color my syntax, but it is just not useful as an IDE, but this will help you to write better code and you will understand the syntax. Okay, so we'll write our first for loop. So and then second for loop. Okay, I will tell you one thing why I am doing this. Okay, so and then what I'm going to check is I'm going to check whether my a plus b equals to 7. My two elements, the two element will be, the first element will be 0 and the second element will be 1, which is equals to 7. Okay, or maybe 9, which is our target value. Okay, now after we get this, we are going to return the index of the found element to our target value, and if we return null, we return null if there is no value. Okay, so if this is a coding challenge, but usually in industry standard we never return a null, sorry. We can return maybe some string value, this value doesn't exist or anything like that, but we need to return an integer. Okay, the return type will be the integer. Okay, and null is just undefined, so we can just simply return null. Okay, so this is our brute force method, looping for loop, then another looping for loop for second element, and then returning the index value and checking whether my element is a plus b equals to c. Okay, now you will, if you run this code, there will not be any issue. Okay, but what you will find out that there is, it will print the value two times. Okay, why it will print the value two times? Because first this loop will start and then this loop will start. Both starting point is index 0. Okay, and we need to find out, this is my index 1 value and this is my second index value. So this is always be the next element to our first index. So this will always be plus 1. So instead of writing this, what we are going to write is, it will be q plus 1. So whatever my q is 0, so this will be 1. If q is 1, this will become 2. If q is 3, this will not print you duplicate value. You can also run, you can make it 0 and you can try it out, see what the output will come. Okay, but for sure you'll understand that why we are doing this. Okay, if you have any questions, you can just post on comment section. Now we are going to solve it by using HashMap or hash table method. We will create a class. So now we are going to define our map of integer. Okay, my map, or simply map. And now we are going to write one for loop. So in a equals to 0, the first for loop will be the same as the for loop which we have defined in our brute force method. So here I will explain you something. In our brute force we have written something, write a plus b which is equals to target. Okay, so now what we are going to write is int current equals to target minus num a. So why I have written this? So you need to understand, first element of my array, okay, plus, I'm just writing in one liner so that it's easier to understand, and b will be my second of my array. Okay, and this will become what? Equals to target. So we can convert this. What we can do is, a will be our first element, okay, which is 0, and b will be our second element which will be 1. So this is simply a plus b equals to t, target. And what we can do is, we can also write in a way b equals to, or you can also write equal to. I'm just writing it because in our code we are going to write in that manner. So b equals to t minus a. We can also convert, right? We all study in our mathematics that we can write this statement in this manner. Okay, so where b will become current, which will be the second element of our array, and this will be our first element. So this will be become 0, and this will become, whatever minus will come, it will assign this current value to this integer. So after this, what we are going to do, I will explain that why we are doing this later on. For now, we'll complete this code. Contains key. Okay, now we are writing we are searching our map. Okay, whatever map we have created, we are searching our map. Okay, we have created a map, we are writing a for loop, we are writing a if statement of searching our app. Okay, so what we are going to return, because we are searching for the current value, whether current value found or not. So if value will be found in our map, then we are going to return the index of that value. How to get the index of that value, I'll explain that later, but for now let us complete this. Get my current, so whatever index of my current value I will fetch it. Okay, how I'm going to do that, why I'm doing this, I'll explain this later, but for now, so here we are fetching our, we know that map is key and value. So my key is will be my index, and my value will be stored in which value is stored in our map. So if value is not found, we are going to put that value in our map. See, here we are putting our value in map. What value will put? A, and if no value, we will return. Okay, I'll explain that why we are doing this. Okay, just after I knew I've already completed my code. Now I'm going to explain that why I'm doing. So this is our test case. Okay, one of the test case, and what we need to do is we need to find the index of the values which are adding up to the target value. Okay, and if you see in our first approach, we have just for loop both the, we have iterated our array each and every element 2 times and comparing it, and we are getting it, adding it and checking our if condition whether it is matching to target value, and then printing that value. Otherwise we are throwing null. In HashMap, where our time complexity improved, what we are doing is we are only iterating it for 1 time, and what we are doing, we are storing a value whatever we have iterated for the first time, and then if that value exists, then we will be getting those value from our hash map. Okay, so now I'll explain you. Okay, so if you see, right, so imagine that this is our array. Okay, so which is 2 comma 7 comma 11 comma 15. Okay, and what is the index value, what is the index of this array, which is 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, okay, so now this is our array and this is our index. So in a map is a key value collection interface. Okay, key value collection interface. Okay, hash map provide ability to store the value in a hash table and using the concept of hashing number. So here what we are doing is we need to have a key and we need to have a value. Okay, so what we can do, we can just simply consider our array as a key and index as a value. Okay, or we can also do it in a other way around, means index as a key and array as a value. Okay, so if you have to do, we can consider this as our key and this as a value. Okay, so when we are doing this, when we are storing, and this is what we are doing, creating a map and putting the value. This will be our location of, for example, if this is 0, and then it will be again 0. Okay, if it is iterating, whereas if you see a is 0, so in initial run it will be 0, then a plus plus it will become 1 again. Okay, so now if you see, if you use this concept, okay, so it will be become like this: key 5 value. So our key is all our values 2, 7, 11 and 15. Okay, and my values, what will be my values? We are storing the index, whatever is the index of these values, we are storing these things in our hash map, so that later on what we will be getting is that if this value exists in our hash map, we will just get its index. Okay, so now we are iterating it based on the concept which is written in here, right? Current value. So initially what will be our value will be 2. Okay, so just I'm just using a minus b equals to, sorry, a plus b equals to, it is just a normal math, it's just a simple math. Okay, and now what we need to find b equals to t minus a, b equal to t minus a. So what is a? Okay, what is b? Actually b is our second element. Okay, it can be anything. B, a is our first element. Okay, I can write it down: first element, and b is our second element. Okay, so now our b equals to t minus a, where what will be the b equals to, t is 9 minus a is, will be, what will be our a will be our first element, which is 2. Okay, so 9 minus 2, which will be equals to 7. 9, 9 minus 2 equals to 7. So okay, just imagine okay, now 7 exists in our hash map at this location. Okay, so this will be our first element. Okay, now we will be doing the same logic. Okay, b equals to 9 minus, what is our second element, is 7. 7 equals, what is the value? 9 minus 7, which is 2. Okay, and now what we will see, that 2 is present at a location of here. So 2 and 7 is our key, and this is what we are doing here, that if map contains key and current, what is our current value? This current value is what? This is our b's current value. So current equals to 7, so 7 will fetch me this 1, and we are returning the get current comma ar, map dot get current comma a is the our looping element. So I hope you are understanding this, and if you have any questions you can post it comment section. I'll definitely reply each and every comment. So now after doing our coding, we'll understand some more concept. So we'll understand complexity. So in every LeetCode problem or any programming problem, right, there are two types of complexity which has been discussed: time and space. Okay, I'll not talk too much detail on this topic. If you want me to cover time and space complexity in a separate video, I'll do create a video on that. But for now we'll see that what is the time and space complexity in all the approaches for this problem. So if you see, right, brute force has the maximum number of time required to execute that particular code, because we have two for loop. Okay, so we need to iterate both the for loop to n to the power of 2, because we have two for loop and we need to execute run that for loop n times. Okay, space is constant. Okay, now two pass hash map, two pass hash map and one pass hash map both have same time and space complexity, which is on. Okay, whereas there is not much difference either. That's why I have said, right, that we'll only cover one pass hash map, which is important. Okay, if you want me to share you the code of two pass hash map, then you just write me a comment, I'll share you that code. Okay, but you need to understand one thing. So each and every approach has its own complexity. So when we have more time complexity, we always need to find a way to make it faster. Okay, if you see, right, we have improved our time complexity, but we have make our space complexity worsen. Okay, so any problem you solve, you always need to remember this, that if my time complexity is higher, you need to find a way to make it more efficient, more faster. Okay, now this problem covers two concepts. One is array, another is hash table. Okay, hash to use hash table, we have used hash map collection. Okay, whereas using hash map, we are storing the values in hash table. Okay, later I might create a video for array and hash table. Okay, because if you see, right, in our third approach, one hash map approach, in that we are using certain methods: get, put, contains, key, which is a methods of inbuilt method of hash map. So I'll maybe create a separate video on hash table later on. Once you solve this problem in a notepad, okay, I'll insist you to solve this problem in a notepad or in a Word document or a Google Doc. Don't use any IDE or any Visual Studio Code or anything, because if you are a beginner, I recommend you to use pen, paper, or normal text. After you solve this problem, there are similar problems related to this, which is 3 sum and 4 sum. Currently you have you need to add only two elements, 0 and 1. Okay, now you have 3 sum and 4 sum. So just wait and watch for this thing. Okay, now the most important question. I think everyone is waiting for this. So this is very basic problem. Okay, and because we know that there are top MNC companies out there, and we all focus on FANG companies, but not everyone gets into FANG. But there are so many good companies which offer same packages, and which their their technical interview questions are at most the same level of FANG companies. Okay, so yeah, this problem has been asked in Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Okay, in FANG companies and even in non-FANG companies. Okay, so I'm telling you the names that in all these companies this problem has been asked. So some of the non-FANG companies, I'll name it in here. It was asked in Adobe, Bloomberg, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, and many companies. So this problem is not only, and that's why this is the problem, first problem in LeetCode. Okay, so no matter if you're a beginner, no matter if you are expert, people do forget to write a code in a notepad, so that it helps you to think as a programmer. And as a programmer, our job is not to only write code but to solve a problem.